All right, everyone, welcome to today's training, simple ways to get started in getting traffic targeted to your website. So I really want to make this training paid traffic made easy. This is part one of a two-part series, and we're going to go over part one. I'm going to go deep dive into the strategy. We're going to give you live case studies. We've got two people that have no idea how to do traffic, have not traffic experts, never took any classes or any big courses. They applied the strategies that I'm going to be giving you that literally we only teach inside our inner circle and inside our mastermind, and they're going to share with you how it's changed our entire business and how they can get targeted traffic to any website they want. This is going to be super simple, but it's going to go in a lot of detail, so I expect you to take really good notes. Now, before we jump into today's training, and again, there's no products or anything, so it's all going to be pure content, so grab your pen and paper, put everything aside, because we're going to go super fast. I got a lot of ground to cover. But I want to say a few things to those that are kind of struggling right now, because before we got to jump on the call, a few people said I'm really struggling to get leads and doing fulfillment. And let me just give you a strategy right now that has nothing to do with traffic. It has to do with your mindset, right? Some of you have gotten a few clients or gotten a few sales, and then you went right into fulfillment. And the moment you went into fulfillment, you put yourself into a death spiral financially. You didn't know you were doing it. You didn't understand you were doing it, but you were doing it. Literally, the moment you went into fulfillment, everything around you started to crumble. And then you tried to figure it out, got frustrated, got overwhelmed, tried to deliver, set expectations for the client, do all these things, and no more money came in the door. How many of you put one in the chat box if you've experienced that? Like, yeah, I attempted something, I sold something, I tried to do fulfillment, and then I really struggled to figure that out. That's because you don't have the right strategic mindset. So I want to give you this before we jump in, and that is called a sales sprint, right? So make sure that you always go on sales sprints. And a sales sprint is a week fully dedicated to sales. So you're on a sprint to get as many sales as you can in that week. Nothing else matters. Fulfillment doesn't matter. None of that matters. And the reason you're going to be doing this is because your mind, and I won't get into psychology, is designed to be focused and get momentum. And the more momentum you get, the more success you get. And the moment you get a sale and you break that momentum, everything around you gets more overwhelming, gets more anxious, gets more difficult. So some of you in your mind go, well, what happens when I make a sale? I'm not going to fulfill? No, you're not going to fulfill, because you need to have the right language when you're selling, and when you use the right language in selling, you don't have to fulfill right away, because then what you can do is you set a fulfillment sprint. So has everybody got this? Yes? Put one in the chat box if you get sales sprint and there are fulfillment sprints. Yes? Okay, so let me give you the language really quick of exactly what you need to say in order to get out of the sales fulfillment mode within the first, in the same sprint. So when I talk to a client or a prospect and I send them whatever offer, whatever product, whatever service that I'm selling, and I tell them this, typically every month we only take on 4 or 5 new clients. And therefore, I need to know if I can get the contract signed and back by Friday. And if we get it back by Friday, then I can put you into November 1st. We can start working on things. If not, it might have to move to the next month, or January 1st or March 1st or whatever month that you want to say, but you're going to put your fulfillment sprint on the first week of the month. So that means you are no longer obligated to sell, collect the check, and then go right into fulfillment. Does everybody get that? Yes? No, the screen is not changing right now. I'm just taking the pressure off for fulfillment, and this is going to change everything for you. This is the type of stuff that I train on every single week in our mastermind. So, but some of you right now, I know this is going to change everything for you. You've got to stop selling and then stop fulfilling right away. So if you go on sprints, now here's the cool part. When you go on a selling sprint and you get that sale, then you don't stop. You go after the next sale and the next sale and the next sale and the next sale. And you're going to find that it comes easier and easier. You've got more confidence. You got momentum, right? You got more energy. And more importantly, you got more money. So then when you actually get to the fulfillment sprint. So let's say it's the first of next month, right? Again, let me give you the language. Mr. Prospect, we only take on 4 or 5 new clients every single month. And so in order for us to start working right away, we need to get the contract signed and get your setup by Friday. And if you do that, we can start you the first week of next month. If I don't get it by Friday, it might have to be another month before we get started with you. So can I get that back by Friday? Right? It's all in the language. And when you do that, now, come the first of the next month, now you've got money in the bank. And I'm going to tell you, it's never been so much fun to do fulfillment. It's never been so exciting to do fulfillment when you have lots of money in the bank. It's never been more fun to do sales when you got momentum behind you. And it's never been more fun to do fulfillment. And you know the really cool part is, now that you got stacked up money in the bank the first of the month to start doing fulfillment, now it's a fulfillment sprint. And for some of you, you're going to be like, you know what? I got a few $1,000s in the bank. Maybe I can go hire someone to do this. And now they can do the work for you, and you can get back to doing what you love to do, which is going out and helping businesses, solving the problems, giving them cool strategies, and stop doing fulfillment. Because fulfillment is a technical work. It's not strategic work. Make sense? Put one in the chat box if that helps you. Yes? Is that cool? Give you some angles there? All right, good. So now let's get into today's training. Good to see everyone. Well, let's jump in. And as I said before, this is part one where I'm going to be teaching you the strategy. So those of you are going to be asking me, well, David, how does this work with software and Facebook, and how do you do it with Google? Please don't worry about any of that, because if you learn this strategy and you learn the language I'm going to teach you, everything changes. Software is just a minor piece of all this. So please put 2 in the chat box if you're going to commit to me that you're not going to think about software or how to really implement this on a fulfillment basis. You're going to learn the strategy so that tomorrow everything's different, that you can actually go out and you can sell this strategy. You can use the strategy yourself to help businesses, help yourself. Yes? I need a lot more twos. Terry, Shane, Sean, Tom, Tim, Wayne, yes? I need everybody. Okay, good. So it's all about strategy. So I want no questions on, well, how do I put this in? How do we do this with Facebook? I want to, in part 2, that's what we're going to talk about. Behind the scenes of how to use the software to automate the strategies I'm going to give you. All right, cool. Let's jump in then. Now, here's what this training can give you. Nicole said, I'm feeling happy again. After losing a couple of clients and a few weeks ago, I was not in a good place. With this new strategy, I just had an amazing week. I pocketed $4,550 plus $1,100 a month residual. I'm so excited, a little shocked to be honest with you. I could do this in 5 days. Anyone can do this. Just follow the process that David lays out. So let's lay out that process. Now, what we're going to be talking about is traffic. And the reason why we're talking about traffic is, look at your screen here. It is the big grand poobah of poobahs when it comes to the money being spent right now. Billions and billions of dollars, right? And we're right here. It's only going up and up and up. Television, that huge industry, with all that money and all the editing and all the video and all the equipment and all the coordination, all that, you literally can crush it working from your kitchen table, working in your bedroom, if you understand these strategies, and make a heck of a lot of money and have a heck of a lot of success. Newspapers, radio, magazines, right? It's all way down here where all the money is in ads, creating online ads. So let's take a step back for a minute, because there's 3 main ways to get traffic. SEO, and let's talk about that. Put 1 in the chat box if you're doing SEO. I mean, SEO is tough. It is a struggle. It is an expertise that, from my perspective, if you don't know anything about SEO and you started today, it's a good 6 to 9 months of really learning, really understanding before you can say, hey, I feel comfortable that I can go sell an SEO deal and then I can fulfill on it, know exactly what to do, right? Now, I don't want you spending 6 to 9 months doing that. I want you spending days learning, right? And days executing, and days making money, not months. So SEO is a really difficult strategy, and it's always changing all the time. As a matter of fact, almost look up any word, especially for local, and you're going to find that the first 4 spots right now, the whole page really below the fold, is all PPC. Now, how many of you doing PPC? Put 2 in the chat box if you're doing PPC. John says, I have no hair left, been doing SEO for 10 years. Take it from John, right? Cheryl says, Google Maps very difficult. Are you 2 AdWords? Is that it? We've only got about 30 people doing AdWords. Put 2 in the chat box if you're doing AdWords. Give me some feedback here, right? Okay, good. All right, more of you. Well, it's so much work, right? It's strategy. It's lots of things you got to learn. You've got, quality scores, and you've got landing pages. When you're selling PPC, you're not selling traffic. What are you selling? When you're selling PPC, you're not selling traffic. What are you selling? You're selling leads. No, you're not selling clicks. You're selling leads. Let's think of that for a moment. There is not a PPC person on the planet that's going to spend 16 bucks, 20 bucks a click and doesn't want to figure out if that lead actually converted. Tori, you follow me? Steve? Give me some feedback, guys. Sean, does that make sense? PPC, you're not selling clicks. Now, you're paying for clicks. You're not selling clicks. You're selling leads, right? They pay for the click, but they expect you, because they're sending them to the website or the landing page, to make sure that that actually turns into a lead for them. And if it doesn't, guess what? You lose the client 6 months later because they look at all the money they spent and they see all the business they didn't get and blame it on you. Is everybody following me so far? Yes? Douglas says, they click, you pay. Yeah, that's true, isn't it? So now there's the third, right, is display ads. And display ads are a lot different than SEO. It's a lot different than PPC. So why do you think, even though people pay for display ads on Facebook and they pay for display ads on Google and all these different networks, why are display ads different from SEO or PPC? Let me see who can get this. I need everybody engaging here. This is where you are getting expertise that your competitors do not have. If you understand the difference between this, it's a whole nother ballgame. Dave Klein said it first, right? It's branding. It's branding. It's branding. It's branding. What else can display do that PPC and SEO can't? What else can it do? It can retarget. Thank you, Jeremy. You're the only one saying it. You can retarget. You can't retarget with SEO. You can't retarget with PPC. Display ads are the only thing that can give you what the traffic that SEO can give you, the traffic that PPC can give you, but it also gives you 2 other things, branding, where you can stay in front of that prospect over and over for a month, for a week. But it also allows you to only target people that you want. Only show ads for people that show up at a specific part of your website. So let's go into that in a little bit more detail. So can everybody put one in the chat box if you can clearly see that you need to dip your toe at least in the display ad arena to see, because that's where all the money is being spent, right? Matter of fact, look at this right now. Digital display advertising in the United States from 2016 to 2020. I love these trends, right? These are awesome trends to be in. Whoops. Let me see here. Let me get a pen. Here we go. 48 billion just in the US alone. This is where, I mean, I'm always fascinated by people that buy like plugins and they're like, oh, you're going to crush it with plugins. Where is plugins on the billion-dollar industry that businesses want to spend money on, right? Or you know what I'm saying? Like all these little products that people buy, where is that on the billion-dollar scale? You ever think of that, Christopher, Clark, B, Bill? Right? Like, wow, the last product you bought, where is it in the billion-dollar range? It's not. So if you want to make money, stop putting your bucket in the sand where there is no water. Put your bucket in the ocean of opportunity, which is a billion-dollar industry. As a matter of fact, most people think that PPC is the biggest type of digital advertising out there, and it's not. As of 2016, display ads started to beat PPC year after year after year and into the future. So what is the biggest opportunity that you and I have and with traffic? SEO, PPC, or display ads? What do you think now? Chris? Bill? Guys, I mean, it's display, right? I really want you to get clear on this because I know there's a lot of things cluttering yourself right now and a lot of opportunities, but this is the big one. So what are digital display ads? Obviously, It's all those ads that we see all the time, whether it's our phone, going to a website, a blog, news, CNN, Yahoo, right? Everybody's in this game except for you. And I want you to play at a much higher level than what you're playing now. Now, the cool part is each one of these ads that you put on display, they could be on mobile, they could be on a desktop, they could be on an app, right? They could be on the top, the side. That's why there are all these different designs. So there's typically between 18 and 22 different ad sizes that you need to create. So the traffic industry is broken up into 3 industries. 1 is ad design, 2 is retargeting, and 3 is cold traffic. So what I want to do today is I want to talk about ad design for just a minute. We covered this topic in a mastermind about 2 weeks ago, but I want to go over that really quickly right now. Put one in the chat box if you'd like to really dive in to say, how do you get ads to convert? If I can show you a formula to get almost every ad that you create to convert. Yes, are we good with that? And then we're going to go deep on retargeting. And I want to show you how to a retargeting strategy that crushes it for us and that we literally have people signing up all day long going, wow, I want that strategy. So by the end of this training in the next 40 minutes, you are going to, 1, have the exact strategy of how to create ads that convert, and 2, a secret strategy of retargeting. So you walk into any business, use it yourself, but you will separate yourself from everyone else in this billion-dollar industry. Nobody can compete. And that's why I want to give you some case studies where some people come on live and explain their experience with this. So here's 5 simple rules that you can turn any ad, and you can be a genius in marketing. Rule number 1, you only have like 3 or 4 words on an ad, right? Facebook ad, YouTube ad, only 3 or 4 words. Not YouTube, I'm sorry, display ads. Make sure that you use a photo that tells a 1,000-word emotional story. So you see this picture right here, right? It's telling a story. See this picture right here? Telling a story. See this picture right here? Telling a story. If you only have 5 to 7 words that you can put on an ad that someone can read in just a moment, well, make sure that you're using a photo that tells an emotionally engaging story so that you get another 1,000 words. Yes? Can I put one in the chat box? I can move on. Yes? You get that? It's very clear. Like, all right, choosing the right photo is really important to me. Now, the next one is you can only have 4 to 7 word headline, and you need to start it with a verb, right? So you see this one, is this good or bad? Is this ad good or bad? What do you think? Good or bad? Clark, paying attention, buddy? Brad, good or bad? Yeah, it's bad. It's way too much. It's not 4 to 7 words. What about this one? Good or bad? The middle one. Yeah, good. Better, right? What about this one? Right? What is the key word that I'm using in both these ads? And by the way, both these ads convert really well. What's the word I'm using? Free. Free and you are the secret magical words that literally can increase your conversions almost everything you do. Free and you. So download you'll see how I teach this in a minute, download your free video today. It's your free video, not a free video. So rule number 3, never make your picture and text compete against each other. This is SparrowHosting.com. They're a big company. But look at their ads. Very hard to read, very difficult. You know what I'm saying here? You can literally walk in the door and take all their business right now. They would start working with you in a heartbeat and pay you a heck of a lot of money just because of this one rule. Now, let's look at this one. Envato. Is that good or bad? What do you think? Good, right? Pretty good. Yeah, very good. All right. What about the bold, booming Hollywood event? Right? Awful. Right? This is crazy. And then what about Price Chopper? What do you think? Even worse, right? Look, these are consistently what happens all the time is the photo is competing and the text is competing against each other. So you got to make sure it never competes. Just one of these rules you're going to be able to crush it. But this is one of the most important rules. Make the call to action only 1 to 3 words. Make it time-based and impossible to miss. Now, this is Johnson. This is a billion-dollar company. They're spending millions in ad placement. But look at their call to action. Look at their call to action. Is it hard to miss? Look at that. Is it hard to miss? Yes. Like, find more ways to feel at home. What? 1 to 3 words and make it time-based. So how would you change this around? Clark, Chris, how would you change this? If you were walking to Johnson & Johnson and said, look, I know you guys are spending millions, you got really smart people here, but I want to make your ad convert so much better by changing one thing. What would you change on this call to action? What would you change? Yes, I would make it look like a button. Absolutely. Brilliantly said, Jamie. Right? So free sample. Ooh, find out more how to feel at home. What does find out more how to feel at home got to be? Right? Right? Limited time, free or, discount offer. Limited time, discount offer. Yes? With that button. You see that? Just these small little tweaks. You can crush it in the industry. So number 5, and I want you to screenshot this, always use first person and second person value words. Now, there's 3 areas that you can look at. So these value words I'm talking about, the first value category is called exclusivity. Exclusivity is very valuable as it taps into the understanding that most want what we can't have, or more importantly, what others can't have. So examples exclusivity is get VIP access, limited registration, pre-register, pre-order, members only 100 available, access our beta, get exclusive access, 17 limited spots. So using first person or second person value words. Make sense? Yes? Number 2, price. Showing the price or discount up front. Free, 50% off, buy one, get one, holiday special, get your discount, download your coupon. See the difference? Get your discount, not get a discount, get your. Download your coupon, double your points, win a, and then safety words. Safety words are register for free, get your trial, get guaranteed results. These are words that make people feel that they can take the next step and it's safe. They're not overcommitting. They're going to get something in return. Download, right? Your proven blueprint. Remember, download your proven blueprint. The word proven, the word your, all first person or third person. Put one in the chat box if this is helping you, getting you some clarity, right? Very easy stuff to do. Thank you, Wolfgang. Thank you. All right, Clark, what about you? Yes, Connie? All right, good. So here are the 5 rules again. Let me put them again up here. Screenshot this. Make your picture tell a story. Use 4 to 7 word maximum headlines. Start it with the verb. Never make your text and picture compete against each other. Make call to actions 1 to 3 words and make them time-based and impossible to miss. And use first and second person value words. Yes? So when you're designing ads, and designing ads is an $11 billion industry, if you just follow these 5 simple rules, you can literally outperform everybody in the marketplace that I've seen. Because every time I talk to a company and every time our customers talk to a company that are already doing ads, we do a free ad for them. Say, hey, let us do a free ad for you and split test against ours. And we simply almost always, isn't every time, but almost always win the split test. And so let me show you this. To prove that, this is a decompression therapy, right? Look at the rules. The rules are let a picture tell the story. It's telling a story. Don't let it compete, right? Look at the headline, non-surgical decompression therapy. Call to action, a phone number with contact us. Very clean. To get chiropractor clicks, you know what in PPC what it costs to get a chiropractor click? between $12 and $18 per click. Look what we're getting, 60 cents. Bob, you paying attention? Chris, you paying attention? Yes? Connie? 60-cent clicks. All right, good. Paul says, good stuff. All right, good. So now here's the next one. Retargeting fence company. So what we find is that showing off someone's reputation is one of the most powerful things you can do. And I'll tell you why in just a minute. But for fence repair, that's between $9 and $15 per click. Look what we're getting, 79 cents per click. Look at the photo. It's telling a story, right? Now, you could increase this very quickly by just adding some of the rules. They didn't play by all the rules, but they played by some of them. So even if you just apply some of the rules, you're going to crush it. So Ad Kahuna. Those of you that don't have Ad Kahuna, let me just do a little shameless plug here. Ad Kahuna is where we create all these ads, because with millions of dollars spent to prove that these ads convert, right? We look at all these ads and how long they've been online, how much money, how many impressions. We do all the research, and then what we do is we take high converting ads, and then we actually take each individual element, like the headline, the call to action, the website URL, the branding, the photo, and what we do is we map them to all the different sizes. So we engineered something called a super ad. So all I have to do is change the photo, and it instantly changes in every single ad. So what would take literally an hour or 2 hours to pay a designer, I do all by myself, and it takes seconds. So this gives me, and anyone that has Ad Kahuna, a very unique advantage where I can create literally tens of thousands of dollars in value, and with one click create high converting ads in minutes. So this gives me an advantage when I'm talking to a company that I can literally put out more production of value ads than anybody can. They can't. They're like, wow. I'm like, yeah, we'll do like $3,000 worth of ads. They're like, well, but our current company would charge us like $3,000 to do all that. You're going to include that? I'm like, yeah, we'll include that. Why? Because we have Ad Kahuna, and it just makes everything super easy. As a matter of fact, David Wilson said this: I love Ad Kahuna, right? I started selling banners on Monday. I sold 4 sets by today, 1 to a realtor, martial arts, and $800 in 3 days he made just by doing ad design and following our 5-step rule. So again, if you're like, hey, David, how do we create all these ads with these rules? You can just check out Ad Kahuna. It's not trying to sell you on it. I just want to let you know that if you need a resource like this, you should take a look at it. Sound good? Okay, good. So now what we've done is we've discussed ad design. So I want to pause for a moment. Any questions on ad design? Are we good? Right? Are we good? Yes? Any questions on this? Can we keep going? Because I want to go deeper here, and I want to show you the next step, which is the retargeting industry. Now, there are multi-million-dollar companies just that do this, right? So level 1 was ad design. We covered that in great detail. Now let's talk about retargeting. And then lastly is going to be cold traffic. And I'm going to say cold traffic because that has a tremendous amount of expertise to it into the next training, right? So we're going to do another training next week, and I want to talk about cold traffic. So I want to give you a story that is the story. You can tell it anywhere, and you will literally have people line up to want to know more. You will instantly turn yourself into an expert. People will literally stop what they're doing. They'll get out of meetings for you. They'll do, if you tell this story, and it's called the traffic story. Now, I'm going to go over it a few times for you so you can kind of memorize it while we're on the training, right? But please take really good notes. So the traffic story is about every person's experience that has a website. And here's the story. Someone visits your site. 96% of every single visitor leaves and never contacts you. Now, we have the ability with the technology of retargeting, those 96%, all those leads, we can capture 100% of them by dropping a little piece of code called a pixel in their browser. And then what happens when they go visit other sites, and the next time they go online, whether it's Facebook or whether it's Google, whether it's ESPN or History Channel, we can market to them and follow them around for the next 90 days until they're ready to buy. Right? Any questions on that? Everybody got that? Yes? Put one in the chat box if you get that. Yes? Okay, good. Now, here's the rest of the story. So why do 96% of website visitors never contact you? Well, here's what we found. The problem is every visitor is a potential buyer from today until 90 days from now. There's no way of knowing who's who based on just them visiting. But we do know that they all pretty much fit into one of three categories. Now, what I'm going to do is on the next training, I'm going to tell you what the categories are, okay? All right, well, thanks for joining us today, everyone. Had a great training. You guys were fantastic. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that to you. No way. You kidding me? But what I want you to understand is I'm telling a story. And was everybody kind of wondering what's coming next? Yes? Paul says, yes, you would. Put one in the chat box if the story was intriguing enough for you to go, okay, I'm interested. What are the three? So let me say this very clearly. And some of you won't get this. Matter of fact, you won't get it until next year, but I'm going to say it anyway because in the next few trainings, I'll say this over and over. But the number one ability you have to get more conversions has nothing to do with the website, nothing to do with buying traffic, has nothing to do with copywriting, has nothing to do with ad design. Your number one ability to get conversions has to do with one thing. Your ability to tell a story. Because that's all we're doing all the time. Whether it's a website, whether it's an ad, whether it's your social media, whether it's your email, we're telling a story. Make sense? So this is why the traffic story is so important. So let me go through it again, right? So Paul says, I've heard this story 99 times. I still listen every time and revel in its clarity. So let's go through it again. Thanks, Paul. I appreciate that. So I'm meeting someone at Starbucks, right? And I'm like, hey, what do you do? He's like, oh, I do accounting. What do you do? I say, well, we help people grow their business by managing their pixel list. And they go, what? A pixel list? What's that? I said, well, see, every time someone comes to your website, about 96% of people leave and never contact you. 96% of all the opportunity that you have for new business is leaving your site every single day. But see, we have the ability to capture 100% of every single visitor that comes by dropping a small little pixel, a little piece of code in their browser. And then what we have the ability to do is we can follow up with them and market your services to them wherever they go. Whether it's a competitor's, a blog, ESPN, we can stay in front of them literally for the next 90 days until they're ready to buy. Now, the question is, Mr. Accountant, why do you think 96% of website visitors never contact you? And they go, I don't really know. I said, well, the problem is every visitor is a potential buyer from today to day 90, but there's no way of knowing who's who, but we do know they fit into one of three categories. Category number one is they came to your site, and one of the things they were looking for was a really good deal. They've been to a few other sites, right? And they know that they're looking for a very specific service. So they're shopping around. They're seeing if you're going to be able to give a good price based on what they're looking for. Now, the second person is they're looking for a reputable company. And we call those reputation ads. See, they're coming to your site and they're looking for a review on the first page and the first thing they see. So let me ask you, when someone goes to your site and they look at the first page, within the first 30 seconds, are they seeing your 5-star reputation? And I pause and wait. Now, some people might be looking for a good deal. Others might be looking for a company with good reputation. Some might be looking for both, right? They want a really good offer or a really good deal, but they want a company that's got a good reputation too. So it's not one or the other. Sometimes it's both. But the third category is you're looking for a very specific product or service. We call those branding ads. So they came to your site, and because you probably have a website with maybe 15 or 20 pages, right? And they go, yeah, probably a lot more than that. So they couldn't find what they were looking for, so they bounced. They left. So it could be one of these three, or it could be all three, or a combination of it. And that's the reason why they're leaving. So the secret to your competition that they really don't know yet, how you can really get ahead of them, is you can literally 10x your results if you retarget each buyer for 90 days and you switch up the messaging. With not the message that you want to tell your visitors, but the message that they want to hear. It also helps get rid of something called banner blindness, which is we find the more people see an ad, the less they respond. And more importantly, the more expensive it gets too. Now, give me some feedback. Put 2 in the chat box if this is crystal clear, that this is something that you feel like I could tell this story. This isn't that difficult. This is the traffic story. I say this over and over and over again. There are no secrets here. I just explain this, and they are hooked every single time. Can you see that? Chris, Bill, can you see that? Andrew, how this is a very easy thing? Now, remember, I want to make sure we're going to talk about software later and how to implement traffic. I'm just teaching you strategy in this training. So I know some of you are like, okay, how do you do this? Just be patient. I want to take my time and explain step by step, just like I'm doing the story. Now, what's really sexy about this is what we do next. So everybody look at your screen. So we created something called the 10x retargeting funnel, right? And what we do is we literally have about 72 hours. For those people that are hot to buy right now, we got to get in front of them. And we find that one of the best things we can do is give them a really good offer. So for 72 hours, when they're going on ESPN, checking stats, going to the news, looking at the weather, they're online doing some research in a blog, we're going to show them your business, and we're going to show them a really good offer. And in 3 days, they don't take advantage of that or click back to contact you, then we're going to show them that you're a reputable company. So we're going to take your 5-star reviews that you have, and we're going to market them to make you look like a rock star. And if that doesn't get their attention, then what we're going to do is we're going to give them another offer. And if that doesn't work, we're going to show them your reputation again. And we're going to reinforce this messaging. And then what we're going to do is we're going to show them another brand, that you're not a one-trick pony, right? You've got different services, different offerings. And we're going to let them know. And we're going to stay in front of them on day 25 with another branding, day 30 with the discount offer, day 45 with the reputation ad, day 60 with the discount offer, day 75, and day 90. So what am I doing here, guys? What am I doing here? I'm doing what? Put in the chat box, first one to get it. What am I doing? I am doing what? Covering all the bases? Thank you, Jay. I'm telling what? I'm telling what? I'm telling a story. Thank you. If you have anything to learn from me as I train over the next 6 months, it's going to be the ability to tell a good story, right? And it's a retargeting story. It's a story about every single website. And now, is this a story you think they've heard before? Right? No, in part 2, this is not part 2. In part 2, we're going to go over cold traffic and strategies we're going to be doing there. Right now, we're doing retargeting. No, nobody has heard this. Nobody can do this. Why? Now, let me give you a little secret here. I'll talk about this more in part 2. But what did I shift the value to? Most companies that are doing traffic, they're doing one ad, maybe two. But how much does it cost to do an ad set? How much you think it costs to do 22 ad sizes like this? You call up an ad agency, call up any major ad agency and say, look, I'd like you to create an ad design for me, and I need it in 22 different sizes so I can retarget them. What are they going to charge you? $500 to about $750 per ad set. $750, $750, $750. So how much this is an ad design? How much this is an ad design? This is over $7,500 in ad design. Now, because I've got Ad Kahuna, right, I can do this in literally like an hour. So put one in the chat box if that's an aha moment to you. Go, whoa, you can over-deliver in value because you're shifting the thought process from value to adding all these ad designs that are already kind of pre-done in Ad Kahuna, and now it's easy to make, and the competitors have no idea why I'm taking all their business. All right, out of 300 people we got on the line here, I see about 30 give aha moments. Is that all? Carl, Buddy, Brian, are you getting this? It's all strategy, right? We're shifting. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to say this crazy, amazing, oh, I've been doing ads and I've been doing traffic. I got all this expertise. No, you just tell the traffic story and then the 10X retargeting strategy. You just show them this, right? Okay, good. So now Ed put this strategy together. I want you to see what it looks like, right? So you can see here, day 0 to 2, day 0 to 5, day 0 to 6 to 10. You see how he's put all this together? Look at these clicks. Look at these click-through rates. 4%, 1%, 3%. Look at the clicks he's getting. Look at this. This is amazing. Everybody see this? This is what it looks like to be successful. You're crushing the competition. Those who are doing PPC can't compete. Those who are doing SEO, it's going to take 4 to 5, 6 months before they get any real traction. And you can literally get this tomorrow. So now, what about others? Wolfgang, look at this. My first month to 10X complete for a new client who had only about 400 pixels. That means only about 400 people went to the website, and they only dropped about 400 pixels. Look at this. He's got day 0 to 3, 4 to 7, 8 to 13. Look at his cost per click. If you notice, the funnel is working. They don't just click this and go away. He would have lost out on all these clicks, right? Look at these click-through rates are insane. Typically, a click-through rate for display ads is 0.01. 0.01. Look at 5% click-through, 2% click-through, 1% click-through. Crushing all the industry standards. Actually, let's go back right here so I can show you this. I want you to see the value of the whole funnel as you go down it, right? Look at these. You see, what if we stopped here and only showed one ad like our competitors? But as they go down the funnel in different ads are hitting different messages. So they're all getting the message they want and they're getting traffic back to their site and people calling them. Yeah, good stuff. All right, well, listen, I want to bring on 2 people that are putting this in action right now, and I want to make sure that you can hear from them and ask questions of them on how this impacts. Now, again, next week, we're going to do a part 2 here. We're going to go into software and how to do all this, how to put it all together, and then talk about cold traffic. But I want to bring on Jay. Jay, you there?
I'm right here, yeah. Hi, David.
Hey, Jay. Thank you so much for coming on. So tell me, I know you kind of struggled with traffic when you first started, but then you implemented the 10X. Could you tell what the results you're getting and what clients are thinking about how you present and tell that story?
Yeah, as you were telling the traffic story again, I remember hearing it for the first time, and I went back and I had to replay it again, and I put my phone up and I recorded it on my phone so I could hear it and play it in my ears every day. to where it just became ingrained in me because it is so concise. And every time I tell it, businesses, you know, they kind of have that dumb look on their face, like they had no idea that 96% of their website visitors were not contacting them. So it really opens up a huge opportunity. And the thing I love about traffic is, you know, I know that you've always talked about, you know, we're activity-based, but I kind of like how it's activity-based and results-based, right? You show these quantifying values. Hey, we saw this many people saw your ad. This many people clicked on your ad. We introduced you to 30,000 people that have never heard of you this month. And it's a powerful tool.
And then tell me about how you get that conversation started, and then what's the reaction when you show them the 10X?
Well, when you show them the 10X, the interesting thing is with several of the businesses that I've worked with, they tell me, oh yeah, I've done display ads, I've done some of that stuff before. I go, or how did it work? You know, not so well. I said, well, tell me about what you did. And, you know, it turns out there was like 1 or 2 ads that actual display banners that were used, and, you know, the whole, you know, the people become banner blind, or, you know, they have that banner blindness. So after a while, the ads, they probably were getting impressions. I mean, they were being shown, but people weren't seeing them anymore because it was the same old boring ad. So when we show them how we put together this 10X strategy, and we hit the different, you know, an offer here, your reputation here, maybe it's a holiday here and a holiday offer here, and then it's your reputation again, and we're hitting different things throughout that 90-day buying cycle. And then when you tell them, say, you know, maybe they weren't ready to buy on day 1 or day 8, but over here at day 15, they're ready to pull the trigger, and they're your brand is in front of them. That offer's in front of them. Your reputation's in front of them. And being able to do that consistently it's empowering, and businesses see the difference because one of my biggest competitors out there are the local radio stations that do the digital side, right? Mm-hmm. Because radio stations now, they can't make money just on radio ads, so they got to go after the digital side. And I think it's kind of an afterthought for them. You know, they go in and it's just like, okay, here, you know, we buy some radio ads, and yeah, we'll throw in some display ads. And that's about all the thought that they give to it. So when we come in there and have this actual organized thought process where we're telling their story, it's an eye-opener for them. And everybody that you talk to, you know, they're amazed, and they're like, well, I haven't heard this before, or nobody else has done this before. So it's you know, it's not like simple, but you've got to put the work in. You've got to actually go talk to people, and it's like, kind of like you said. I mean, you got to have conversations to make this happen. So, but the conversation is easy to have when you have this information.
Now, for those on the call right now, some of you really struggle of talking to businesses, and I understand. I felt the exact same way, and the reason I felt that way is I felt like I was selling everything else everybody else was selling, right? When I started doing SEO and websites, it was just like everybody else. But this is so much different. It changes your confidence. It gives you clarity. When you talk to these businesses that, first of all, have never done traffic, they're incredibly excited. But like Jay said, when you talk to businesses that have done traffic, they go, oh my gosh, this makes total sense to me. So the same thought process that you have right now that you're on the call watching this, that you go, wow, this makes sense. That's the exact same reaction that you get from businesses. Jay, is that correct?
It is exactly the same way, because not only does this work for the businesses that we use, but I use it for my own business as well. So, you know, I thought I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't do it for myself to get results for myself. And just today, out of the blue, I get this call from somebody says, hey, they're a local company to where I am, and they said, hey, we've got this gifted school. Our website is terrible, and we'd like your help with a new website. I mean, just out of the blue, you know. So I'm using the same process to help me get leads for my own business. So it not only works for them, but it works for us. And the thing that I've really kind of caught fire on the last month or so was the hyper local, where you can just, and I know you'll get into this, and I remember the first.
I'll get into that next week. I'll talk about that next. I don't want to get into software, just the real strategy of the 10X and the retargeting. And so let me bring
the 10X retargeting. It is something that nobody else has. And when you tell the traffic story and you present them with this, it opens up a whole new world. And it's like you said, it's a $80 billion industry out there, and we're just, all I want is about half of it.
I love that. Hey, I want to bring in Al real quick. Al, let me tell you, Al is someone special. He's if some of you are going through struggles right now with family or personal things, Al is someone that has recently gone through a lot of personal struggles, and this digital marketing business has given him the ability to take care of family, to attend those type of needs, but have really great success as he put on traffic. So Al, you there?
I'm here.
So Al, tell me about your experience with using, and let me frame this, because I know a lot of people are thinking, okay, David, so what's the next step here? And everybody needs just to pause for a moment. This is about changing your thought process and giving you the confidence that you didn't have 45 minutes ago. Look, this strategy works with anything. It doesn't mean, what I have to teach you next week, you can literally put it with anything. Use it with Facebook, you use it with Google, you use it with all kinds of things. It's about telling a story and doing it through a series. And so let's just slow it down for a moment about wanting to jump ahead, and let's really let this strategy sink in. And Al, tell how you started. You didn't know about the 10X first time you heard it, and then you talked to a few businesses. What were your results?
Well, let me just back up. I had some real serious stuff going on, life-threatening things with my son. Got through that. My dad ended up in the hospital, and we had a fight, and we really got him moving and got him out of the nursing home and back home. And it was just, you have to do those things. It's much more important than making money. And, I had to get myself rolling again, and I was sort of beat up emotionally. And so what I did is I used this strategy of giving away ads and videos. And at first I gave them away to anybody, but then I started to focus on what I would call a customer, somebody who has a higher probability of doing some business. And when I went in and I talked to them, I've done websites since, believe it or not, the 90s. And when I talked to them about a tool that could brand and bring back the 95% of people who don't buy the first time and increase their return on their investment and give them a free ad in the deal, people will give you enough. You need 10 minutes, but if they're interested, they're going to listen to the whole presentation and you're going to discuss it. And it turned out to be a tactic I used because I was just so, my brains were scrambled. But I've now adapted it as one of my primary ways of getting new business.
So the principle there for everyone is, please write this down, it's a reciprocity tactic, right? We've got two products. One product is AdCoon, I just mentioned. Another product we have is called AdVidi. And one of the tactics I teach is reciprocity marketing. And reciprocity marketing is when you give, you get. And so Al has taken this strategy on. He's saying, look, I just give away free ads to people to help them. They can put on their website, they can put it on Facebook, they can put it anywhere they want, but I'm just going to create a free ad for them, whether it's a video ad or an image ad, and that's getting his foot in the door into a conversation. And he's saying even when life is coming down, pressing on him, he's all going crazy, he didn't know which direction to go. He's overwhelmed. He's just leading with value and giving instead of trying to sell. And that's a big shift. Put one in the chat box if that could be a big shift for you. Stop selling and just start giving, right? When life is difficult and crazy thing and life is kind of all around you and you just think, oh, I just got to give today. I just got to go give something, right? So that's what he's talking about. It's a very big opportunity that when that overwhelm comes in, that stress comes in, just to turn the giving strategy on. And so that's what Al's doing. And then Al, so when you talk to businesses, how receptive are they when you talk to 10X strategy?
Well, the 10X strategy, I talk about being able to brand, make people remember who you are, what your value proposition is. And then I talk about the offers. I talk about building a reputation and marketing it, because people today, I call it the speed of trust, and I didn't coin that. I read that someplace. But, you know, people are not going to buy from you until they trust you. And that's where the reputation ads really can come in and in a very subtle but powerful way, tell people this guy's okay. I can buy from him.
Brilliant. And then how successful have you been in closing offer or closing deals or closing people you talk to regarding just talking about the 10X, not showing them any software or what you're going to do, just saying, look, this is strategy and this is what I'm going to do for you. What's that been like for you?
Well, I usually will talk about a traffic component in that, but I will give them a beta. And I was just looking at this. I'm probably, you know, there actually have been people who won't take a free ad, and that's okay. They're that closed-minded. There's always somebody who will have an open mind. But out of the ads and the videos that I've given away, I've probably got a 60 to 70% doing business.
Wow.
Going forward.
But one in the chat box, if you would like a 60% close rate, just because you're giving something away. Yes? Don, Harold, Jed, very good. For those of you, listen, we've been going strong for an hour. These are the strategies that I want to teach you. I really want everyone to get very clear that things can be really simple. You can have a lot of success, but you got to have the strategic thought process. We haven't talked about some cool gadget or some cool new software or some cool new tech. This is all strategy thinking. It's all positioning. So if you can tell the story, which we've gone over, and then you can actually tell them the strategy of the 10X, literally you're going to have people eating out of your hands and saying, look, what do we do next, right? And that's why I want to separate both these trainings so that we can really focus on the strategy and taking that away. Now I want to take some questions in the chat box. So a lot of the questions in there. So if you got questions for Jay, if you got questions for Al about what they're doing or how they're doing it, but I want to make sure that everybody gets super clear that you just have to change your language. If you change your language, you change your business, and if you tell the right story and have the right strategy, everything opens up for you. It's a whole new game. You get confidence, you get clarity, you get excited, you get passionate about what you're doing, right? So, really quick, Jay or Al, what is your suggestion about, let's say no one's done traffic before. They don't know Google, they don't know Facebook. Would you suggest them just going out and testing out the language and telling the story and just kind of see what comes up?
Yeah, I definitely would. I would get comfortable with the language, and I don't say that to say that you have to sit there and go over it and go over and go over it, but go over it and go over it. But once you start telling people about it, it becomes your language, and you know you'll find yourself weaving in little bits and pieces of what you have said, and then also other things that become you, and you become this, you know, this kind of consultant person, and they're looking to you, and that you have all the answers. So I wouldn't sit there and stress about, well, I don't know how to do this. I've never sold traffic. I don't even know what these guys are talking about right now. If that's the case, just talk to people. Go to the people that you know first, right? The friendly faces. Just say, hey, you know, I'm doing this. Maybe it's your accountant, maybe it's your dentist, and just saying, hey, I'd really like to just give this to you. I mean, this is, you know, we're in a beta right now. This is a new thing that we're doing. would you mind if we kind of use you as a guinea pig and I just give this to you? Would you mind? And like Al said, there are a few closed-minded people, but most of the time they're going to go, heck yeah, let's do it. And then once you do that, there is that that adrenaline that kicks in. You go, whoa, I just did something, and you want to do it again, and you want to do it again. It was like you were talking about earlier, sell all week, right? You just, once you start and you start having some success, even when the no's come in, you go, fine, because you're still on that high. So yeah, don't put it off. Just jump in and do it.
Now here's my commitment to everybody on the line. If you go out and you tell the traffic story, right, and you get someone interested, you can come into our support desk, and my support's going to kill me on this, but I'll match you up with a Jay, or I'll match you up with an Al, and we'll give you a few people that really know traffic very well, and they're willing to help you. They'll share the deal with you, right? So listen, you're not alone on this. We want you to go out, and my challenge to you is go out and before the next training and talk to a few people and tell them the traffic story, right? Tell them about the 10X, how you can tell that story over and over again. Even if you've never done it, commit to yourself that you're going to take that challenge. And then next week, we'll come back and I'll teach you step by step how you can do the fulfillment really, really easy. And I just got to add real quickly.
Hey, Gabe?
Go ahead, Al.
David, can I just piggyback something on what Jay said?
Right.
When you go, if you go to your contact, your friend or somebody you know, like I had to basically go to them and say, look, I'm going to give this to you, and I want to talk to you about our beta program, but in exchange, I'd like you to allow me to use you as a test market, and we can use you as a reference to see what these results are, and I'll always take care of you and always give you the best rates I can, and I'm only going to ask for 3 to 5 referrals if you're happy. And so if I can use their data going forward and I can get 3 to 5 referrals, I'm rolling. It's well worth it.
Well done. Well done. So a lot of questions are coming in. Will you tell the traffic story one more time so I can record it? Put one in the chat box if you want me to tell the traffic story one more time. Yes? Is that cool? Are we good with that? Listen, unless I get there's 300 people plus on the line. Unless I get at least 100, I'm not going to do it. So, okay, Ed, you're cheating. Ed's putting in one more than that. I see you. Chris, I see you cheating. All right, well, the fact that you're cheating, all right, that shows me I love good action takers. So let me do that really quick here. So let me go through it one more time. Everybody good to go? You guys ready to rock? All right, here we go. Good. I love that type of action taking. So let's say we meet, let's say I call it my dentist, right? So actually, Jay, do me a favor. Play Dr. No. Play the dentist, right, for me real quick.
All right.
So you're my dentist. All right. Ring, ring.
Hello, the dental clinic.
Hey, is Dr. J in, please?
Yeah, this is Dr. J.
Hey, Dr. J, this is David Sprague, and I was calling because you did a great job with my wife. She had that splint that you put in about 6 months ago. Do you remember that?
I do, yeah, I remember. How's she doing?
She's doing great. And as a matter of fact, what you don't know is I run a digital marketing agency. I do consulting for businesses like yours. And I've got something that we're doing that's really special. And because of the great work that you did with my wife, I wanted to do something really special for you. So did you have a moment or two?
Yeah, I do. I do have a marketing company that handles all that for me. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, that's quite all right. What your marketing company is currently doing, I'm sure, is great. This is something really special. And the reason I wanted to call you is because I took a look at your website, and you got a really great site. So it sounds like your marketing company's doing a really good job. But here's statistically what we know about dentists is that about 96% of people that come to your site end up leaving for a lot of different reasons. And we have the ability to literally capture every single person that comes to your site and drop a little piece of code in the browser called a pixel. Now, have you ever been to Amazon or you ever been to a website and you look for something and then you start going to like ESPN or different sites and you start seeing that same ad follow you? Yes?
Yeah, I've got a pair of shoes that are following me around right now.
Well, that's typically exactly what works well. The problem is when it follows you over and over and over, you get a little annoyed, don't you?
Right.
So what we do is we drop a pixel in that visitor's website, and then we're able to market them everywhere they go online. So if they're not ready to buy right now, or ready to call you, or ready to get your services, we're showing up at the perfect time when they're ready to. And we can do that over the next 90 days. Now, let me ask you, do you know why typically 96% of website visitors never contact a dentist? Any idea?
Is it because it causes them pain? I'm not sure. I don't know.
Well, I'm sure it does, but it actually goes a little bit deeper than that in the psychology, is that every visitor that comes to your site is a potential patient for you. But it's from today they visit your site and about 90 days from now on average. So some might be looking and doing research, or, but there's no way of knowing who's who. But we do know that that potential patient falls into one of three categories. One is they're looking for a really good deal. So they've done some research. They're looking around, they stumble your site, and they're looking for some type of offer that's going to bring them in, something that kind of pushes them over the edge. And they didn't find that, so they decided to go somewhere else. Now, we solve that problem by giving them what's called an offer ad, being able to create some type of offer that really attracts them. Now, the second thing they're looking for is a reputable company to do business with. So when they come to your website, what's the first thing they see at the top of your website? Do they see your 5-star reputation and all the great reviews you have online?
No, they're on a different page.
Okay. Well, we solve that problem by, when they leave your site, showing them your 5-star reputation by creating ads that have your 5-star reviews in them. So they see it everywhere. So you look like the most reputable company to do business with. And the third category is someone's coming to your site looking for a very specific product or service. And I noticed that you do a lot of different services, and they're kind of all on different pages. You've got like a 15-page website, something like that?
Yeah, we do. We've got a lot of services, teeth whitening. We do braces. We do it all, yeah.
Well, that's the problem, is they couldn't find what they were looking for, so they left. So what we're able to do is create branding ads that lets them know that you're not a one-trick pony, that you've got a full suite of services, so we can put multiple services in front of them to get them to come back and contact you. So the secret that probably your competition doesn't know yet is that you can literally 10x your results if you retarget each patient for the next 90 days. But more importantly, switch up the messaging for what they want to hear and what they're looking for. And more importantly, get rid of banner blindness, where that those ads that you don't like so much, you're seeing them over and over and over again. Well, that's because they're just showing you one ad. You need to switch up that messaging between a good offer, your reputation, and different branding ads to show them that you are the best company to be doing business with. So what we've done, and this is why I'm contacting you, is we like to do something really special. And I thought, because of what you did with my wife, that we could work with you. We have a beta program where literally we're going to create not one, not two, but 10 different ads that we can tell your story over a series of 90 days, so that everyone that comes to your site, you got the best chance of getting them to come back and turning those visitors into new patients. So the first day they come, we want to show them a really good ad, and we might give them a really great offer. And then day 3, right, we got 72 hours to really try to convert them. But day 3, they don't convert and come back. We need to show them your 5-star reputation to tell the story about how reputable you are in the industry. Then we show them another ad. Then we show them a branding, a new brand or a new service that you've got. Then we show them another brand and then another offer. And literally after day 45, 60, 75, and 90, over a 90-day period, we've shown them the entire story that they're looking for. We're hitting all these different messaging. Now, have you ever done this before?
No, I've never seen anything like this before.
Well, this is what we're doing. We look to break into the dental industry, and typically we would charge just a loan to create all these ads over $5,000. But here's what I like to do. I like to do something special for you, and I'm going to cover all the costs of the ad creation. Sound good?
What's the catch?
Well, the catch is that we're able to get a few referrals from you, and also that you cover our ad spend, so that putting those ads online. But we'll cover all the ad creation. Now, if you're interested, which I'd love to be able to work with you, I'd like to set up a time where I can kind of go over the strategy in great detail, and we can move forward.
Sounds great.
So is this typically, Jay, how the conversation goes?
I was probably being more obstinate than most of them. I mean, for the most part, they are, especially the people that you know and you've done business with, they're intrigued by this, and it feels like that they are just soaking this in, because
yes.
I'm not lying. It's the first time they've heard this. It's the first time they've seen anything like this.
Jay, how long ago was it that you got into traffic?
8 months ago, 6 months ago, something like that.
Yeah. He does not have years and years and years of traffic. Like some of you have years and years and years of SEO and years and years and years of website building, years and years and years, and you're still struggling, right? He's 8 months and he's crushing it.
Yeah, cool. I was going to say, you know, the first, you know, I remember my very first training with one of these, and I sat there and I just tried to open my mind and said, you know what, I have no idea what he's talking about today, but I'm sure in a couple of weeks I will. And now, you know, every time, you know, it just becomes more clear and more clear. And the best thing that I've ever done was just sticking with the script and learning it, right? And making it my own, to where, you know, it wasn't this script that I was reading, but it was my story now. It was in my head.
Awesome. Great training, everyone. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Al, for coming on. Thank you, everyone, for showing up today. So next week, we're going to go into part 2, where we're talking about how to use cold traffic strategies and then how to get wholesale traffic. I'll answer all those questions then. So thank you guys so much for taking your time away. And then more importantly, congratulations on all your success. And those of you that joined us, thank you so much. We hope this literally challenged you to realize that put away all the silly little shiny objects, take a strong look at doing traffic for businesses, and then join us next training. We're going to part 2, which is I'll teach you the system of how to create high converting cold traffic strategy, and then how to get wholesale traffic for you, your business, and your clients. All right. So by the way, David, how do we get to the next training? We'll be emailing you the same way you showed up to this training. Is the same email we'll be sending to you, so you can register for the next training next week. Okay. Will you be sending this training out? Yes. So those of you, by the way, put one in the chat box if you want me to send this training out. Yes. And so you can review it. Yes. Okay, good. Well, I will commit that to you. We'll try to get this training out tomorrow for you. But this is a mastermind training with these strategies and an inner circle training. So we'll probably just send it out, and then we'll shut it down maybe Saturday. So make sure if I send it out tomorrow or Saturday, you get a good look at it. Okay. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Go out and crush it with the 10X strategy and talking about the website traffic story. Thanks, everyone. Bye for now.